Is amazing. Is there a chance, though, do you think this is the week that the market, oil and equities, have to make a stand and pick up from last week's rebound?
Well, you're right. They're going to have to make a stand, but the question is how? I mean, we've got the FOMC, obviously, the Fed in the middle of the week, but nothing fundamentally has changed between today and last Monday. So we're going to need to see an economic revolution or something to turn this around, and or some sort of verbiage from the Fed that takes us away from these ridiculous, by the way, 2 to 4 interest rate hikes this year and moves us back towards, hey, maybe we got to dial things back here. So I think the Fed could really help the market by dialing back their rhetoric, but I don't know if they're going to be able to come back from that as quickly as they should after having had that interest rate hike in December.
Yeah, with limited arrows in a quiver, Janet Yellen should understand the power of being able to jawbone this market around. This is her chance to do it. Let's talk about one stock that really is standing out, guys. McDonald's, a year ago, it was unthought of that they would be hitting an all-time high today. Nevertheless, strong numbers. All-day breakfast is a big hit, huh, Ashley?
Huge hit, apparently. Charles, I know that Stuart was scoffing, but boy, he's eating his own breakfast today. Eating his own words, at least. Latest report, McDonald's beating on the top and the bottom. Global sales up 5% here in the U.S. Sales up 5.7%. By the way, that's twice as better than the estimates. They've also announced they're opening 1,000 restaurants this year, by the way. That's 1% added to their number of restaurants. The previous high, 120.23, was an all-time high. The first Dow stock in 2016 to hit an all-time high. They also saw recovering demand in China. And let us not forget, they're going to add mac and cheese and sweet potato fries to the menu this year.
Maybe Joe, you know what I like about the CEO, Joe? The guy is so cool. He said, mild weather actually helped us. How many people actually give the weather some props? But it's a lot more than that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Steve Easterbrook has only been on the job since March, so he hasn't even hit that one-year anniversary yet. And he's also been lauded by a lot of analysts for cutting costs on the bottom line, and that really does affect the long-term growth prospects, right?
You know, Keith, when people look at this, okay, a year ago it was all about Chipotle to the upside, McDonald's going to going to the dustbin. And the last year has been the exact opposite. If you bought stock in McDonald's, you made a fortune. If you bought Chipotle, you are getting crushed. Could that scenario play out other places? I mean, are there stocks that we've left for dead that could come back?
Well, that's a really interesting question, Charles, because being left for dead, if the stock has got good value, if it's got good business prospects, if it's got savvy management, all of which McDonald's has surprisingly brought to bear at a critical time in its company's history, I think you do have an upside run. So I am one of those guys that does hunt for value, and I hunt for exactly the situation you've described.
Although in my case, I think I agree with you. I think it all begins with firing the old management. Scott, what do you make of this turnaround for McDonald's, and what does it mean for, people might be stuck in some of these laggards?
Here, you know what I think? I think you kind of summed it up a little bit before. Look, last year was about Chipotle, because last year is when people thought they had money. Now they realize they don't have any money, and they're going back to McDonald's. That's all the story is.
Wow, that's another take.
That's a good way of summing it up. E. coli